Hi, I'm Sheryl, and today we're doing the empathy assignment. And so I'd love to introduce you to my daughter. This is Mia.
Hi, I'm Mia.
And today the topic that we're going to discuss is the topic of work from the perspective of a parent and from the perspective of my daughter.
Yes.
um, yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and dive in. And today we're going to, kind of have an actual dialogue or discussion. I think a lot of the time I do a lot of preparation in terms of my assignments. And today I would like to just have a real discussion around it. So, off the cuff, here we go. Okay, so the issue is around my commitment to work. I work all the time. I need to work all the time. I'm a single parent, so I'm the one responsible for making sure that we survive and stay alive. And so, in my opinion, and so I believe that I have to do a lot when it comes to work. Also, in this component, is I own a business around that too. So there is a piece of that is 24/7. So that's the scenario around work in our household. Um, Now, I believe that I have to work a lot in order to survive. So my position is correct because that is just the truth. We need money to have food, to take care of our dog and the cats and you and everything. And, you have a car, we have insurance, we have bills to pay. So if I don't do those things, we will, in my head, die or we will end up in my car. Now, we'll talk about if that's true or not later, but that's my position, and it's why I'm correct, because we need money to function, so I have to work incredibly hard in order for us to be able to survive. I know that took a long time to get to, but that's the case.
No, why am I wrong?
Oh, why are you wrong? Okay. Your stance on it, I guess.
Should I talk about my
You
stance?
should talk about your stance, and then we'll talk about who's right or wrong.
Okay, well, I just kind of feel that, a person does not have to work 24 hours a day in order to make money or not get fired. You don't have to do ridiculous things. So that's kind of my stance, that, you have to, not kill yourself in order to just get money or, do stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's definitely a very interesting point that you bring to the table. Okay, now, why are you right and why you're wrong? So, I believe that you have a really good point, and it's a point that we'll talk about later. But your point is, I do not have to kill myself, or why you're right is that you're absolutely right. I don't have to kill myself. I'm not going to get fired. I don't fire myself. But in the same time, there's another element of all of this too. So it is still, if I don't work as hard as I do, I feel like I fail or that I can't put money on the table.
Yeah.
And so you're right that I need to be, if this is what you're saying, but I think that this is what you're saying, like more boundaried when it comes to my work.
Yeah.
Spending time with you, spending other time.
Like when to close the computer.
And, have real, time with you, which is something I as a single parent, you work all the time 24/7. But you're right. I absolutely need to make time for you. I need to make time for you. Like that's my love, my whole thing is like you're it. Like that's why I work.
But that's also like why it's hard is because like sometimes I'll be trying to like spend time with her or talk to her, and she'll be on like 600 phone calls a day, or it's like 600 emails, so it's like type, hold on, type, hold on, so it's like it's never like we can never have like a one-on-one connection because she's so involved in work or like other things or whatever it might be. So it's like it's so hard to get her attention away from that and back onto me, and it's like maybe that's selfish, but I'm her daughter, and it's nice to spend time with my mom. So I definitely I try to make that happen.
For sure. And so I'm saying you are right. My opponent is right and I'm wrong because I am in this case. Like I have to be able to do so. So I feel like we have touched on that particular point and wrapped it up well.
Okay, so both positions are correct.
Both positions are correct. So yes, both positions are absolutely correct. I it's so interesting because if you ask me what is my priority is you.
Yeah.
And I want to spend time with you. And I think actually through our time together in this coronavirus, we've had a lot of opportunity to learn more about each other, to learn more about what is important in life in general. And I love what you're bringing to me as topics to discuss and topics where we could improve some things, especially on my side.
Yeah, and I think that it's hard because like you're right to a certain extent also. Like you need to, get your work done so we can have money and food on the table and like pay all the bills and stuff like that. So yeah, you are right. I just think there's to a certain extent. Like you don't have to work 24 hours a day, like wake up and work in the middle of the night, work over here, work to the store, work, like you don't need to do all that. But then at the same time, like I also understand that like you can't always have time for me. So, there's pieces where you're totally right, but there's also pieces where I think I'm totally right, where I'm saying like, you should totally spend more time with me and like be more focused on. So sometimes like I have things that I want to share with you or like talk to you about, and like so sometimes taking that 5-minute break is important just to be able to touch base with me, so like we can stay connected. But that's just why I think we're also both correct. Yeah.
And yes, of course that's true. And it's everything that I really want, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely want those things. I think one of the interesting things that we haven't really talked about is why. Why do I do that?
Yeah.
Why do I work so hard? And I think we know, that I'm a single parent. We've established that. So I can't depend on anyone else in order to make sure that we stay alive.
Yeah.
So and I feel that it is so drastic. It is survival. We have to survive, but not just survive. I want a lifestyle as well.
We want to live.
Right. We want to thrive, not just survive. Right. So
thrive
I think that makes it, because I'm so focused on making sure that we aren't where maybe we were, right? Yeah. Like as a single parent growing up and having a child younger, and instead of waiting till I was much older, I think there's so much benefit in that, but there was also so much struggle in that too. And so when I focus on this thing, and really it's a problem. So it's like workaholism is the actual issue here. It's much more than just I'm working too much. There's more to it, right?
It's like an obsession. It's like I have to do it, or like I will feel like shit about myself type of situation. It's like almost that you put it in your brain that like you have to get every little thing done and done perfectly. It can't just be like, okay, done. No, it's like it has to be done to like at a certain. I know how you work, so it's like everything is like precise. So it's like, there's no room for error or any of those things. And I think it's important to actually leave space for those types of things like error and mistake, and so you can actually learn from those things instead of like obsessing and like being insane about like every little thing and making sure it's all done. I just think it's important to give yourself space and be able to open the curtains sometimes and not just be in front of the screen.
Yes, and nobody wants that more than I do.
Yeah, it's true.
So really, but I have to work on my own self and figuring out, why do I do these things? Why am I so obsessed with work of all things? There is a satisfaction for me in it. But yes, you are 100% right. I want to do those things. I want to be with you. Yeah. I don't want to be working. Like that's so dumb. But yet I find myself like I can't stop.
It's a
because
necessity.
there's a reward. There's a reward, and it's an important reward in our lives. So where do I draw balance? So I think the main thing around that is that, we know that, I think that we've established that there's absolutely truth to every single piece of the puzzle here. But I also just kind of wanted to point out that defining or understanding that why has been very helpful in us being able to stop doing these behaviors. I can't say I'm perfect around work because I just got myself into a new situation that's also extremely extremely pressured, and I like that to some extent because there's a large payout in it, or could potentially be a large payout in it, and that's great for us. But I have to be able to be more boundaried around it, and I have to shut off the computer. Even this weekend, I was working till 1 a.m. on this project, and I thought to myself, like, you're doing it again, like, stop doing this. So I have to consciously say to myself, like, stop working. You have to put the thing down and focus. And today, I think, is a great example of that because, like, on Sundays, I really try to shut it down and spend time. So we have a Sunday morning, fun morning that we have, like, stuff that we do together. And so we do that, but I want to spend even more time than just that. So I think we've come to some really awesomeness toward the end of this issue that plagues our household, and an argument that we are divided on a lot of the time. But I think for my own health, my mental health, my physical health, your mental health, your physical health, me being here for you, and, like, yay, all of that, it's also very, very important. And I think we're in a really good spot right now. So I acknowledge all of this is working.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's points that are right, there's points that are not, but altogether, we can say that we've learned a lot through our experiences with this issue.
Absolutely. I mean, we've definitely grown a lot, and especially grown together. And I think that's the most important thing is, like, we didn't do this, we did this. And I want to say that's been probably the best thing in my life is being able to have a good relationship with my mom. So as long as she can close the computer, it's okay.
Well, thanks for listening to us. And I think, the topic is empathy, and that is something that I do think that we have a lot for each other.
Yeah, I definitely feel for her. I feel like she feels for me. I feel like we, communicate very well, so we have an understanding of, like, how each other's feelings, and if I say something to hurt her feelings or do anything like that, or vice versa, I think we can always communicate with each other in order to grow or learn from it or change our behaviors, and I think that's just something really important in any type of relationship. But especially in a mother-daughter relationship, it's been very awesome.
Yay! And I couldn't be happier. Like, I feel that we have an amazing relationship. So, okay, well, thank you. I know that we've gone over as per usual, but have a great evening, and thank you for listening to our empathy project.
Bye.
Bye.